Hi everyone, welcome to class. My name is Kristen. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm delighted that you're joining me here today for a free virtual class through Yoga in Our City. For this class, you'll need 2 blocks and a space to just practice. You can be in comfortable clothing or yoga clothing, but anything that makes you feel comfortable to move in. So let's begin. You can take your block and go ahead and find a comfortable seat and begin to close your eyes if that feels okay to you. And together, let's invite a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We'll do that again. Deep breath in. Empty yourself out. One more like that. Fill yourself up. And exhale. Now just allow your breath to find its own way. Noticing the way it comes in through your nose and out through your nose. And as you're doing this, invite your awareness to move throughout your body. As you begin to notice sensations, emotions, not attaching to any one particular area or explaining or justifying. Just gathering a little bit of data for what this version of your body is feeling like today. Take one more deep breath in together. Exhale, let it go. And now the invitation is to draw your hands at heart center and to set an intention or dedication for your practice today. Thinking of that one word or a short phrase that you could hold on to ground you as we move. Bow your head in gratitude to yourself. Take a deep breath in. Reach your arms up overhead, beginning to open your eyes. Hands come through to heart center. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring it all in. Last time like that. Inhale, reach up. And we'll turn this one into a twist. So twisting over towards the right. Left hand finds your knee. Right hand finds behind you. Reaching up through the crown of your head. As you inhale and then as you exhale, twisting lightly from your heart center. This inhale, unwind, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale to unwind, reach back up. And then exhale, fold over your legs. So if you're sitting on something, you can get rid of it here. Or just reaching out in front of you. Maybe you touch the floor. Maybe you bring the block out in front of you and you reach for that. And then start to roll yourself up. Coming back to an easy seat. You'll come onto your sits bones, hands face behind you, fingers towards your sits bones, your booty bones, and just gently take your knees side to side. Windshield wiper, right? And let's start to add the arms. So take your right arm, reach it behind you, and come back to center, over to the other side. Keep it going. We'll meet back in the center. Feet hips distance apart, and then press through your hands, press through the soles of your feet and lift your hearts to the ceiling or sky. Drop your head if it feels okay. Maybe some head rolls from side to side. But really just thinking about opening in your front body. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, chin to chest, come on up, roll over your ankles. We'll meet in tabletop together. Hands stack underneath your shoulders, knees under hips. Now, if you need a little extra padding, know that you can fold your mat over to cushion you, or you can also roll up a blanket or fold a towel. And you really want your fingertips to be spread wide here, planting through the palms of your hands. Start to invite in some cats and cows. Inhaling to lift your heart, lift your chin, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine out. So follow the guidance of your own breath here, letting each movement have a part of the breath. And perhaps you start to notice other movements want to come in, right? Intuitive, organic movements. Give yourself permission to express those, right? Those are what makes your practice unique to you. Taking out that rigidity of just moving from pose to pose without any awareness, right, is not a practice, that's a Simon Says. Be open to what comes through, knowing that you can't really be wrong. Yes, there might be some alignment things that could be off, but if you're moving your body and you're aware of the sensations you're feeling, you're doing the yoga. All right, let's find stillness together. Press through your left hand, reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Spread wide along your collarbones, reaching out your fingertips. Deep breath in. Exhale, thread the needle. Come on down. Doing that a few times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it through. Couple more on your own, reaching up. Thread through. Following your breath. This time we'll stay. Walk your left hand out above your head and tend up onto your fingertips. Right, press into the mat through your hand, through your bottom shoulder, thinking of the bottom rib cage rolling under, top rib cage rolling open. Right, not letting gravity collapse you to the ground. Right, there is some lift here. Deep breath in. Empty out. Left hand slides underneath your shoulder, lift back up, release to the ceiling. Back to tabletop. All right, other side, left hand reaches. Thread through. Keep it going. Last time, reach up. Thread under. Right hand walks above your head, tent in the fingertips, plug down to lift. Right hand slides back towards you, reach up through the left fingertips to tabletop. Okay, toes curl under, sit back, child's pose, reaching the arms out in front of you. Remember, they don't have to be stick straight, right? They can be gently bent. And there can be a little bit of movement, right? Where we land in a pose is not always the only expression, right? It's a journey, it's an evolution. Lift back up into tabletop, keeping the toes curled under. Sweep your hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog, please. So you're making an inverted V with your body, right? And starting to bring in some movement there. Some sways in the hips, some shimmy in your shoulders, still plugging through your hands. Remember, that stance from tabletop. Fingertips spread wide, pressing into the palms. And maybe you get curious about rolling into plank. Right, so that can look something like this. Lift up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees. Look forward and push through your toes. Right? And then bend through the knees, press your hips back, lifting up. Now it doesn't have to look or feel like that, and maybe ripples in your spine is just not for you today. That's okay. Right? But it's just another way to bring in some movement into your down dog. Together we'll find stillness. Reach your right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Step yourself forward into a low lunge. Right now that can look a little bit differently. I'm going to take the blocks and step back to down dog. Right, press through your hands. Blocks can come underneath you. So we'll try that again. Three-legged dog, right leg goes up. Now step it through your hands, and maybe there's a pit stop, right? There's nothing wrong with manually placing your limbs where you want them to go. Right? Reaching your arms up. Exhale, swing it back, half split. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Coming forward. Sweep it back. Staying there for your half split. A few breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Next time, come forward, plant through your left hand, reach the right arm up for a little twist. Top hand can come to your low back. It can stay up in the air. Unwind. Hands plant on the blocks. Left toes can curl under, lift your knee, and pivot to the left side of your mat, dipping down, also known as Skandasana. So dip side to side. Moving nice and slow. Take your blocks and walk yourself to the back of your mat. Downward facing dog, please. Facing the back of the mat. Reach your left leg up to the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack your hips, and step forward between your blocks. Right now, having extra height with the blocks can help, so you can switch around. Right? You can have it on the medium height, you can have it on the tallest height, but having that extra space of the blocks for the step gives you some room. Drop the back knee, lift up through your heart. Now hands can stay on the blocks or they can lift up to the ceiling. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and melt over. Inhale, lifting forward. Exhaling back. A few more times on your breath. And then we'll stay in the half split. Melt your heart over your legs as your toes flex towards the ceiling. Right? Think of drawing your left femur, your left thigh bone into your hip as your heart space reaches forward. And if you're like, heck no, my knee is super bent, right? That's okay. Do not compare my practice, my visuals, to your practice, right? You don't have to be flexible to do yoga. You get flexible from doing yoga, both in your body and your mind. Inhale to come forward, right toes curl under, lift your knee, and pivot to the right. You're in Skandasana again, walking side to side. All right, walk your hands to the front of your mat. They can stay on those blocks. Remember, play around with height. And we'll step back to a high plank. Hands under shoulders, right? And you're in neutral alignment, meaning that your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, all are in one line. You're just horizontal. Now, if high plank is not for you, right, you can just make a high plank shape and gently drop your knees while your core still stays engaged. Same effect. So we'll do the first one as a knees, chest, chin. Deep breath in. Exhale, heart lowers down, elbows hug your rib cage. And then scoop up, upward facing or cobra, your choice. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Press back into child's pose. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog, please. Bend your knees real deep. Look forward and walk to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Start to roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Hands come by your sides. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, so nice flat back here. Exhale, fold. Let the crown of your head hang nice and heavy. Shake it yes. Shake it no. Allow your whole day or the remnants of your day, if you're taking this in the morning, right, to just kind of pour out. You don't need it here. And you've carved out this time for yourself. Allow yourself to be present. Roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Arms reach overhead and find them at heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll take another halfway lift. Fold down. Step your left foot back. Low lunge. Hands frame your front foot. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Bring them into heart center. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Right now, if you need to drop your back knee and keep it in that low runner's lunge, that's fine too, right? You might still be building strength. Drive your tailbone down, lift your heart up. Inhale, take the arms up over your head. Exhale, hands to the blocks, step back, your version of plank, your version of a chaturanga, could be that knees, chest, chin we just did, your version of an upward facing or cobra, downward facing dog. Big breath in here, big breath out. Bend your knees, look forward. Walk to the top of your mat, forward fold, also known as Uttanasana. Take a halfway lift. Fold down. Inhale, rise up tall. Hands find your heart, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold down. This time, step your right foot back. Low lunge, strong in the legs, or drop your knee, your choice. Lift your arms up. Take them at your heart. Shoulders roll back. Right, inner thighs together. Building from that strength from the bottom up through the top. Big breath in. Empty out. Inhale, take your arms up. Bring them to the mat. Step it back, high plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Now remember, if there's an adaptation of a movement, a transition, a pose that you need to take that I don't say, you don't need to wait for me to say that, right? You take that, right? My body is my body and your body is your body. So what feels good in mine is gonna feel different in yours. Anytime you step onto your mat with a teacher, with others, your practice evolves. It will be different than theirs, and that is 100% okay. Deep breath in. Empty out. We'll take a few more vinyasas, or those flows. So step to the top of your mat, however you want to get there. Halfway lift. Think of your spine rippling like a wave. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Maybe you take a mini back bend. Hands at your hearts. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift. Fold, step or jump back. Chaturanga, or your version. Knees, chest, chin. Upward facing, your version. Downward facing dog. Right leg, reach it up. Step it forward. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. So your back foot pivots down about 45 degrees and you reach your arms up to the sky. Hips and shoulders are square, like you've got headlights reaching in that direction. Soft shoulders. Open up, warrior 2. Keep that nice bend you've created in your front knee. Inhale, take it back, reverse or peaceful warrior, leaning back. Breathing into your right side body, deep breath in. Deep breath out, cartwheel to the mat. Move through your vinyasa or don't. Meet us in down dog, your choice. Right? Sometimes We don't need to take every vinyasa that a teacher calls, right? I've been practicing for like 12 years. Sometimes I don't need another chaturanga, right? So don't pressure yourself to take every single vinyasa. Unless you are pushing yourself to get stronger in your upper body, if you identify as a female, right? Our upper body is not our powerhouse, our lower body is, right? So chaturangas can be hard for us, right? So taking your time. Left leg reaches up. Step it forward. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Sweep the arms up, shoulders draw down. And really on your back foot, right? Pressing into your heel and pressing into the outer edge of your pinky toe and pressing into your big toe knuckle. Open up warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Hands cartwheel down to the mat. Vinyasa or don't. Right, this one, I'm gonna take a knees, chest, chin. And that's fine. Downward facing dog. Remember, you can also pit stop in child's pose when you come from the up dog. 2 breaths. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Fold. From your fold, Utkatasana or chair pose, arms swing up, bring them back to your heart center. All right, so your legs are your powerhouse here, but it's not just all in your legs, it's in your glutes too. So maybe you bring your awareness, you bring your hands to your sits bones and notice, hey, are my glutes involved here, right? Or am I loading in my legs a lot, right? I just learned like a year ago that I was loading in my legs a lot and not using the strength of my glutes, right? Use your glutes. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inviting a little challenge here, option. Bring the weight of your body forward into your toes as you lift your heels, right? Hello, inner thighs. And start to drop your hips towards your heels, right? Well, my blocks are blocking me here. All right, lift up. Keep the heels lifted. We'll do 2 more. Right, and if you're not into this up and down, you can just stay in your Utkatasana. Right, going down 1 more. And then plant your heels, lift up, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold down. Move through a vinyasa or don't. Step back to down dog. We'll meet there. Right leg reaches up. Bend your knees, stack your hips, rolling open. Now really plug through your left hand here. Sometimes when we lift the opposite leg, our stance in our arms gets a little weak, right? And we forget about squaring off in the shoulders. Big breath in. Empty. Square it off, 3-legged dog. Right toes go up and back. Now bring them into your nose in your high plank. Right now you can also drop your left knee and take this adapted version. Right leg goes back, knee comes in. We'll take 2 more. Reach along. Bring it in. Now, you're in your high plank or your adapted plank with your knee in. Step your foot between your hands and come on up, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Keep that nice bend. Inhale, reverse warrior, lean back. and come to an extended side angle. So right hand reaches down to the inside or the outside. The outside might be better, especially if you feel really hunkered down in this position, right? So taking the block on the outside edge of your foot rather than the inside can be a little more spacious, right? Can help you like lean back into it. Reach over your ear through your left fingertips. Drive your right big toe knuckle through the mat and straighten the front leg. You're in Trikonasana, triangle pose. We're gonna take it with your left arm over your ear, right? Allowing that cinching around your waist to open up. You can also take your top arm and bring your hand to the back of your skull and lift your elbow to the ceiling, right? That can help you be more aware of leaning kind of back into it. Sometimes we're really leaning forward, right? Crouching forward, lift up. Left hand reaches up. Pivot the right toes towards the left and walk yourself into a wide angle forward fold. Option 2, have a bind at your low back, shoulders roll together, knuckles to the ceiling, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hands release. Take a hold of your blocks and walk yourself to the back of your mat. I like to play around with space when I'm teaching, right? So using the front and the back of your mat entirely. Maybe your mat was expensive. Maybe it's not expensive at all, right? But you made an investment of some sort, right? Whether it was grabbing a blanket from your living room or purchasing a more high-end mat, right? Use all corners of your space, whether they be tactile corners, right, or imaginary corners. Maybe you're not using a mat at all. Sweep the left leg back, three-legged dog. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Plug in through the hands. Some micro movements want to come in. And then back, three-legged dog. Moving forward, knee to chest. Remember, your right knee can drop down and you can take these adapted versions. Reach it back, bring it in. Reach it back, bring it in. Last time, reach back and step between or place it, lifting up. Finding your hand on the block, you're in an extended side angle. Reach over your ear. Breathing in. Empty out. Go for it, straighten the front leg. And your left hip is drawing slightly back. You might have heard teachers say in the past, like, pretend you are between two panes of glass. That's not a great cue. One, that sounds terrifying. And admittedly, I used to even say that cue, right? But actually, the leg that is drawn forward, right? Your hips are not meant to be like that, right? The leg that is forward, that hip draws slightly back. So your hips are kind of staggered a little bit, right? And you're using the strength of your quad, pull up through your kneecap. And then reach your right arm over your ear, lengthening from your right fingertips all the way out to the back edge of your pinky right toe. Deep breath in together. Top arm circles down, pivot the left toes towards the right. You're in that wide angle. right? You can kind of play around with your weight here. Hands come to the mat or your blocks, right? Maybe the mat's really far away. And you're just gonna shift your weight forward and lift up high on your toes, right? Lifting your heels. And that can be a super precursor to practicing some sort of balance, inverted balance. You're already in an inversion in a wide angle forward fold, right? But if you are working any sort of forearm headstand, tripod headstand, anything like that, shifting your weight forward, lifting your hips over your shoulders can help get you a little curious. All right, we'll meet in the wide angle forward fold. Take your blocks with you, walk to the front of your mat, step there. You're in an Uttanasana forward fold. Gently bending your knees and slowly lower your hips down towards the floor. And maybe it's not so graceful, right? Maybe it's a flop. But that's why it's called a yoga practice and not a perfect. So coming down to the mat, we're gonna do a little bit of core strength here. So blocks can come behind you if you want to. They don't have to, you can completely remove them. But we're gonna find that sweet spot in your sits bones, right? That balancing spot to teeter back for boat pose, Navasana. Legs can be bent, right? They don't have to be stick straight. And what we're trying to work is the front body here. So sometimes we sink back in our low back and we're like having this little tortoise shell in our front abdominals, right? So pull your belly muscles in and up towards your heart, right? The bandhas. And you can get curious about lifting the leg a little higher and then meeting it. Now don't worry if everything starts to shake. Don't make that mean something about you, right? Don't make that mean a story about being out of shape, not being strong, etc., right? You're building strength. And sometimes that feels and looks really messy, and that's okay. If you're into it, we're gonna pulse a little bit side to side. So palms facing down, fingertips towards your heels, and you're just gonna swing side to side, getting the obliques involved here. So side to side, side to side. Watch your low back, keep your heart lifted, belly muscles in, not a sucking motion, a strong feeling. Good, keep it going, keep it going. Last few. All right, big release. Woo. Option to use those blocks. Fingers towards your sits bones. Feet underneath your knees. We're gonna go for a reverse tabletop. Press the feet into the mat, lift your hips. Drop your head if it feels okay. There could be some swaying. There could be stillness. So plug your whole foot into the mat. Hips gently drop down. Open your knees up. Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. This could be enough, but maybe you want to fold forward.
Gratitude is the food of life. The nourishment of the soul when there's no food inside. When your vibrations are low and you feel blue inside. Gratitude is the attitude that gets you through the night.
Roll yourselves up one vertebrae at a time. Knees tuck in, legs go long onto the mat. Scooch yourself back, right? You can like literally pull the flesh around your sits bones back to kind of shimmy them. Your feet do not have to be close together, right? There can be a little bit of space, especially if your hamstrings are tight. If they're really tight and you're using that blanket or towel, right? You can roll that up and place it underneath your knees to give yourself some guidance so you're not like, oh shoot, this feels really deep, right? We want to be kind to our bodies and not force ourselves to make shapes we're not ready to make. Hands can stay on those blocks if you want. That's a great option instead of reaching towards your toes. But sometimes I see people reaching for your toes and you're like, oh, I will never get there, right? This feels really clogged up. If that's you, right, bring your hands by your hips on the blocks or on the mat and press from your sits bones to lead the fold with your sternum, your heart center. Right, crown of your head is aligned with the rest of your spine here.
That's how you should love. That's how you stay free. And 2020 AD, I just want to make love. I just want to make peace. I just want to stay free.
One breath at a time.
2020 AD, I just want to make love. I just want to make peace.
Begin to roll yourselves up. Give your knees a little bend and shake them, rock them.
That's my everyday attitude.
Pull your left foot in to meet your right thigh. And then shift your torso towards your shin. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then lean towards your right toes. That block can go underneath your right forearm if the floor is really far away. We don't want to feel crouched down in the right shoulder, right? If it feels really clogged up and jumped up, think of lifting away from the floor as you reach over. You might not go as far in the side bend, but going far is not the goal. Tapping into sensation is the goal. Inhale, lift your torsos up. Plant the left hand behind your left thigh. We're gonna go for stargazer. So right toes pivot down to the mat. Lift onto your left shin. Take some arm circles. Even some bends into your right leg. Right, make it a little weird. Why not? All right, gently guide your hips back down. Legs go long, props all over the place. It happens. All right, we'll switch sides. Right leg tucks in, shift your torso towards your shin, and then lean over. On your next inhale, lift back up, right hand plants, find your stargazer. Tuck your shin underneath you. Right, and your right knee is stacked right underneath your hip. Make it easier for yourself, right? If it's all the way down here, it's gonna feel hard, like a lot of weight coming onto your limbs, right? Stack your bones, find Tadasana. It's a pose, but it also means neutral alignment. Okay, from this side, we're gonna pivot to the back of the mat, facing the back of your mat. Knees underneath you, roll over your ankles, and tuck yourself down. Rolling all the way back. Rock side to side. And I'm going to offer two options for happy baby. Right, the one that we know the most is opening the knees up towards your shoulders and lifting your feet to the ceiling, with the option of grabbing on behind your thighs, your ankles, or the outer edges of your feet. Or, if that's not comfortable for you, I have a hair that just like will not leave me. Or if that's not comfortable for you, you can cross your ankles and reach around your thighs to grab the tops of your feet, pulling in either direction towards your pelvis. right? Same effect. You can rock side to side. Together we'll find stillness, hands drop by your sides, and then lift your feet to the ceiling. Right, this can be challenging for some people, right? It can be a lot of effort on your abdominals and a lot on the muscles behind your legs, right? So know that your legs do not have to be super stick straight, nor do your toes have to be super engaged. You can also bring your hands underneath your sacrum, right below your belt line, making a diamond shape with your pointer finger and your thumb, and place that underneath you and lift your feet to the ceiling. You can also use that blanket or towel. You can also use your block. For a while, I didn't love the block in this pose, right? I felt the block was a little too pointy, right? So that's where the cushioning of blankets can come in, or your hands instead of the block. And this is a nice little inversion, allowing everything to go in the other direction. As we slow down our practice, it is very easy to start to go to the next thing. It is said that Shavasana is one of the most important poses. It can be very challenging for some of us to be still, to have our eyes closed, to lie down, right? All these things. Our practice is preparing for Shavasana, the big release, corpse pose. Right? So as we slow down and move into the final moments, just notice where your awareness is going. Right? Is it going to what you have to do? The next meal you have to make? The phone call you need to answer? Right? And instead of shaming yourself for thinking about those things, I'd like you to practice just noticing that they're happening. That in itself is such a crucial big step. Just notice. Take a few more breaths here. And then slowly draw your knees into your body. If you have something underneath you, get rid of it. Tuck your knees into your chest. And scooch your sits bones or your hips over to the left and drop your knees to the right, spinal twist. If your knees do not make it to the floor, we want to be sure that our shoulders stay square on the mat and not focus so much on our knees making it to the floor. So support yourself with a block underneath your knees. Right? We'd rather have the shoulders square on the mat than make the knees to the floor. On your next inhale, bring your knees through the center. Scooch your hips over to the right and your knees drop to the left. take your knees into yourself one last time and wrap your arms around yourself. So that can be around your legs or around your torso. But essentially, I'm inviting you to give yourself a great big hug. To bring in a symbol of every moment of your practice, every curiosity, every sensation, every worry. Right? Draw that in gratitude to yourself. What a gift it is to be able to practice together. Squeeze that all in. Inhale. And then exhale, give it all away. Let it go for Shavasana. So you can lie flat on your mat. You can lie with your knees bent. Right? Or any other position that feels more comfortable to stay in for the final few moments of our practice. Begin to deepen your breath. And slowly invite some small movements back in as you start to bring your awareness back to your space. Take your arms up overhead, a full body stretch here, fingers to toes. And then curl yourself up onto your favorite side, allowing the extended arm to cushion your head. And taking a moment to pause here. Press your hands into your mat as you guide yourself up back to your easy seat. And find your hands at heart center once again. Bow your head in gratitude to yourself. Thanking yourself for your practice today, for showing up and taking care of your body, your heart, and your mind. And let us also offer gratitude to all of our yoga teachers and the creators of these practices. May we continue to honor the roots of yoga. Draw your thumb knuckles now to your third eye. The light, the love, the peace in me honors the light, the love, the peace in you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Drink lots of water, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you again soon.